A very good day to you all, friends. So, we are back again on employment communication, a lab based course, and this is the second lecture on interviewing. This is lecture 31 and it is titled Preparing for the Personal Interview. So, basically at the outset, let me tell you that we will be revising and developing more on the points we have spoken about in the first lecture of this series or this topic on interviewing, that was lecture 30, the lecture just before this. So, we have two parts in this presentation. The first is interviewing for employment and following up, and the second is making the interview work for you. I think it is in the second part, making the interview work for you, part 2, that your interest would be more focused on. So, let us come to what we will be covering in interviewing for employment and following up. Again, we will define the interview and talk about employment interviews, what is the typical sequence of interviews and the types of interviews, what employers want from you, what is pre-employment testing, and how do you research an organization before thinking of applying for a job there. How can you anticipate the employer's questions, how can you prepare some questions, and finally, how do you prepare for the job interview. We move further. Handling the actual interview is a special task by itself, is another work altogether. There is a interview process consisting of 3 steps or 3-phased interview process. We have talked about it in the previous lecture. The first is the warm up phase, the second is the questions and answers phase, and the last is the close of the interview or the closing phase. Now, what should you do to follow up after your interview is over and you have come back home to your workplace or to your residence, and other types of follow up messages. This is a brief snapshot of what we will do in the first part of this lecture 31. So, I begin positively on a note, and this is a quotation from Kevin J. Murphy and the book Effective Listening, Your Key to Career Success. Again, you see the emphasis on effective listening. And it is said, there is only one person who can tell you whether any candidate is right for the job, the candidate himself or herself. So, in other words, you as a candidate have to keep your positive strength, your positive spirits, your positive emotions on a high mode before you interview the interview chamber or the interview venue, because if you have the slightest of hesitation or doubt, you see, doubt poisons the will. So, if you have the will, if you have the willpower that you will make it on the day of the interview, then you can tell yourself, or you can decide, you are the one who is the, I would say, you are the lab, you are the product of the lab, and you are the scientist who is conducting the experiment being the interview process. So, you are the only one who can tell whether you are right person for the job. So, let us define the interview once again as the most common type of purposeful, planned, decision making, person to person communication. Goyer, Redding and Ritchie have defined it in such words: a form of oral communication involving two parties, at least one of whom has a preconceived and a serious purpose, and both of whom speak and listen from time to time. So, at least one of whom, either the interviewer or the interviewee, has a preconceived, I must get this job, I am serious about it. We must choose the best candidate. This is the point of view of the interviewer. We must fill up this vacancy as soon as possible. So, let us get out some good candidates in our interview sessions today. This is again the viewpoint of the other party, the other side of the desk, the interviewer. And both of these two parties, that is interviewer and interviewer, speak and listen from time to time. This has been taken from the book Interviewing Principles and Techniques, a project text. So, in employment interviews, what happens is there are two parties, one is the organization and one is the applicant. The organization will be attempting to match the applicant with themselves with their agency or company as such, and the applicant will try to match his goals, I mean career goals, and his abilities, because he is the best judge or she is the best judge of what he or she is capable of. So, the applicant tries to match his or her goals and abilities with the job on offer. What is the typical sequence of interviews? And we have three stages here. The first, the screening stage, the second, the selection stage, and the third, the final stage. Types of interviews: structured, open-ended, group, stress, video, and situational. Please look forward through your own ways and means at all these different types of interviews. What do the employers want from you? They want, first of all, that the candidate should be a fit with the organization, and the qualifications for the job should nowhere be tampered with, nowhere be compromised with. If it is stated that the qualifications for the job is 2 years work ex after your BTech, then that has to be that, no more, no less. You can be more, but at least not less than 2 years of work ex, apart from other parameters which are to be considered as given in the job description or the job profile for the job ad. So, many organizations also organize pre-employment testing, that is, they conduct 3 types of tests on those candidates whom they wish to go to the second stage of interview. During the screening stage, the pre-employment testing is in process, and the candidates are made to go through job skills test. For example, number 1, job skills test. Suppose it is a job of a carpenter, then I should know basically how to use the implements and how to work on wood, job skills test. Number 2 is psychological test. What is the candidate's psychological state of mind? Is he or she in the regressive cycle? Is he or she a depression victim, or is he under some drugs? Is he taking some drugs or something which will interfere with the workplace, because the drugs might have some side effects or some after effects which may not be conducive if they get reflected and open in the workplace. So, these 3 types of tests are pre-employment testing modes, in fact conducted by the company. The first, job skills, the second, psychological test, and the last, drug tests. So, as a candidate, what will be your job when you are trying to think about are you going to apply, are you going to appear for the interview if they call you. So, first of all, you need to research the organization and the opportunity it offers to you as a candidate. First, get right the full name, location, age, how old the company has been in business, what are the products it is selling, what is the position of that organization in the company, in the industry, sorry, what are the earnings and growths. You can go to the annual report of the company for this, and overall structure. Suppose you get a foothold in this company, suppose you get a job in this company, where will you be working, where will you be placed, and then look about the job opportunity. Think about what will be your job title, what will it involve you functionally, what are the qualifications, do you fulfill the criteria or not, what is the career path in future 10 years, 5 years, or maybe 15 years from now, where will you be if you continue working in this organization, what is the salary range the company is offering you. This is number 5, that is, let us say maybe 50,000 per month to maybe 1,50,000 per month in a period of 5 years or so on and so forth. This is just a small example, fictitious. And will the job involve you to travel, will you be required to take trips, isn't it? And relocation, is it a possibility in this kind of job which you are trying to apply for and appear in interview for? And it is best to be prepared for the employer's questions. You see, broadly speaking, since we are in the second lecture on employment communication, on interviewing skills, the employer will be asking you questions, and it is time now to think about what are the 4 groups of questions the employer will ask you at the time of interview. The first is of course your years of education at the college, maybe not the school level. What were your previous employers and who were your previous job, what were the jobs you were doing before that. Number 3 is attitudes and preferences, and number 4 is work habits. That is, in other words, what stretch of time do you like to work? If given an offer that you have to work from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m., will you take it? What are your working habits? If you are a person who prefers to have 7 hours sleep in the night time, then you would not be liking this kind of work habit which is being questioned about. How do you prepare some questions, and what are the kind of questions you should prepare before going to the interview or the boardroom? First, are these my kind of people? Will I be comfortable working with them? Number 2, can I do this work for which I am trying to get inducted into the company? Will I enjoy the work? Will it give me job satisfaction? Number 4, do I actually want this job, or am I thinking about the other company where I am thinking that a call or an offer for interview might come? Isn't it? Does the job pay well? Will it be enough to serve the needs of me and my family members, those who are dependent on me? Then very important question, who will be my supervisor? Because your direct supervisor is somebody with whom you will be at least 12 hours of the day in touch. So find out about what kind of person he or she is. And the last is, what sort of future can I expect if I stick on to this company or organization? Further, how do you prepare for the job interview? I think the best is to be very positive as regards your confidence. Be brimming with enthusiasm and confidence that you will make it, and nothing can break this confidence in you. Polish your interview style. More and more as you gain experience in this arena of appearing for the job interview, you can look back at your previous interviews and further fine tune and polish your interview style. You must of course, number 3, wear very good, clean, ironed, well pleated clothes, and you must arrive prepared. During the midst of the interview, do not say that, oh, I forgot this document or I forgot to tell you this. So whether it is mentally, physically or materially, arrive prepared with everything. Now we come to the actual interview and how you will handle it. The first is the screening interview. Here you need to differentiate yourself from the rest of the candidates. This is the type of interview in which the best will be taken out and the rest will be just left. So what are your unique selling points? What are your strengths? If there are weaknesses, how do you convert them into strengths? Because this is the kind of question you may be asked. The second is the selection interview. This is the second round. In fact, this is the way in which some interviews are conducted. You don't have one interview, you have 3 interviews spread across several days. Just as you have heard about the civil services examination, and the civil services interview takes place across a period of 1 week. Maybe on one day you might have in both halves, forenoon and afternoon. After a day's gap you may have only in the first half, or so on and so forth. So in the selection interview, you have to cover upon your strong points, because that is the reason or the rationale for which you are being selected by the company. And the final interview is that phase of the interview where you are face to face with those who are the top boss of the company. It is these people who will be in a position to decide what salary should be given you, what exact position will you occupy, and how long the contractual tenure in case you are being selected for a contractual position. So the final interview, there is a need for you. During the final interview, you should emphasize your personality. You should show that you are unique and you are the best person possible for this job, because you are on your very best, because you are face to face with the top boss of the company or the organization. Now, the interview has 3 steps or 3 phases. The first is the warm up phase, and the second question answer stage, and the final is the close of the interview. What happens in the warm up phase? As soon as you knock and then you open the door slightly, we will have some of these interview sessions in our lab classes. So, let us go back. You knocked on the door once, twice, not more, then you enter and ask whether you can come in. So, the first impressions of you as a person are being watched. First impressions of you are being created in the minds of the interviewer. Note that your body language is under observation, because you are just entering the door and you are going to ask, may I have a seat, isn't it? So, the language of your body is under scrutiny. Be careful of these 2 points in the first phase. Then you come to the question and answer phase, where you are answering questions and also you might be asking questions. It is a time, it is the most important phase when you have to listen very carefully to the interviewer and get the question right. And the last point is, how do you deal with personal questions or questions which are illegal? Decide that. Time and time again will make you more mature to deal with personal questions. Next, we come to the final or the third step or the third phase of the interview, where you need to conclude gracefully. Be thankful, but not be overtly thankful or too much obliged to the interviewer for having interviewed you and perhaps given you some inkling or idea that you are going to be selected or going to be getting the offer letter for joining soon. It is a time, since you have been indicated, since you have been perhaps verbally indicated that you might get the job. So, you can discuss your salary with, let us say, 10 years of experience. It is always right that you are in a position to discuss salary, ask for some extra bonus, some extra increments, something, some more perks, that is, which will not be added to your taxable income, because this is a time to discuss salary, and thereafter you might get something in black and white, the final offer, and then you might not be in a position to discuss salary. So, during the course of the interview, it is the best time to discuss your salary and ask for more better salary. The last point here is reviewing notes, by which I mean that after every interview, have a small diary, have a small notepad. I have something like this with me always. You have a small notepad or a diary and open a page and write what has been your experience, write where you could have improved, note down some points on what you would not like to review or what you would not like to repeat in future. So, let us go to the next slide, and how do you follow up after the interview. So, you come out of the interview room, and is that the be all and the end all of your interview? Should you be doing something after that? Yes, think about it. So, there are 2 things you must do after the interview as follow up. The first is, do not forget to write a small thank you message, email preferably, or hard copy, speed post, register post, whatever you might think. This creates a very good impact on the organization. And of course, you can ask for an inquiry. You can raise an inquiry about the status of your performance or the status of the interview which was held on such and such a date for such and such position, because your inquiry message would also create an impact, a positive impact. The organization would know that here is somebody who is really interested to know whether he is going to join us or not. Then there are some other types of follow up messages. In case you get an offer and you are currently in an organization, let us say you are in a Government of India organization, it takes much time to wrap up your present work, and so you might write a small message, an official message or a mail in which you request more time for joining the organization. You might have stated in your resume that you can drop a few months, that you can join at a short notice, and that maybe you can join in 3 months time, but now you find that it is difficult the way the things are moving. the way in which there are so many bureaucratic steps to be covered, some official formalities to be fulfilled. So, you can request for more time from the employer. And the second is the kind of message which accepts an offer. Be thankful, be grateful, but not too much, and say that you will do your best to perform at the workplace. The next is a kind of message in which you decline the offer because you think that you are better here. So, there is no harm in writing a small message in which very honestly you state your reasons for declining the offer, but at the same time you say that you will like to keep in touch with them for the future. And the last kind of follow up message is that kind of somebody resigns from the job. It is called a resignation letter. This is the kind of the very negative kind of job follow up message. I would like you to see this small and short video on a job interview from the popular TV series The Big Bang Theory.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids, math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a Big Bang.
So, why do you think you'd make a good pharmaceutical sales rep?
Well, I'm a people person. People like me. Some of my favorite people are people. I feel like I'm saying people a lot. People. Okay, I'm done.
You sure?
People, yes.
Good. So, how do you feel your previous job experience has prepared you for a career like this?
Well, as a waitress, sales was a big part of my job. I mean, believe me, I convinced a lot of very large customers who should not be eating cheesecake to have more cheesecake. I mean, one of those chubsters even had an insulin pump.
I have an insulin pump.
People.
Let's say a physician was prescribing one of our competitors' drugs. How would you convince them to switch to ours?
Any chance his car needs to be washed by a girl in a bikini? Okay, I'm really sorry for wasting your time.
Don't worry about it. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, thanks. I'm sorry. Listen, could you do me a favor and not tell Bernadette how badly I blew this interview? She'll get upset, and honestly, I'm a little terrified of her.
You're scared of Bernadette?
Yeah, kinda.
I thought it was just me. Everyone thinks she's so nice with a squeaky little voice.
I know, but she's kind of a bully.
No, but she is. I didn't even want to meet you, but I was too scared to say no to her.
Me too.
Yeah, you know, one time I had I had to tell her we were cutting the research funding for one of the drugs she was developing.
What happened?
I couldn't do it. She's still working on it. Oh, we're not going to tell her about this, right?
Oh my God, no.
So, time to move on. We have been enlivened and part 2 of this presentation, how to make the interviews work for you. So, thinking that you have worked enough for the interview, now it is time to make the interview work for you. That is, you are going to be successful in interviews. So, we will do 8 topics in this section. The first is how to handle the interview and prepare your answers. We move further to virtual interviews and how you should be behaving or how you should be handling yourself at the interviews, basics of interview, body language during interview, writing other job search letters and continuing your job search activities. So, the first is how to handle the interview. The first, as we said, research the organization, and make a good appearance at the time of the interview. Well polished shoes, good clothes, ironed, pleated, all the pleats in the right place, your face looking neat and clean, hairs brushed nicely. Articulate your questions, think about your questions, deliberate, prepare answers in advance. Be easeful, be comfortable, don't be disturbed too much, don't worry too much, because that will have an impact on your interview. It will make you uneasy, it will make you nervous and anxious and spoil your performance at the interview. And help control the dialogue. You see, if you are an interviewee, it does not mean that you will always be simply answering the questions and then waiting. If you find there is a pause, then you should say something relevant at that point of time, something which is called a conversation starter. So, the conversation starts again. Maybe the interview board, 3 of them are sitting there and they have asked you a question, and there is a long period of pause because they are examining some documents or they are discussing among themselves. Now, this is the point when you can perhaps restart the conversation so that the dialogue continues. So, if you are going to prepare your answers in advance, it helps you to choose a strategy how you are going to make it to the final phase, how you are definitely going to be selected in the interview. Suppose there is this question, this is a very tricky question, and I do not know why interviewers should ask this, because who would want a weak person at the workplace? But anyway, this is a pet question at interviews, and the question is, what are your weaknesses? Now, what are the possible strategies you will employ? The first is present a weakness that is really a hidden strength. Suppose you say that your weakness is to work long hours, then it is not that you are after overtime, but make it your strength. You are a person who has tenacity. You can keep going on until the work is completed to your satisfaction and to your boss's satisfaction. The second is to cite a corrected weakness. You can give an example of a weakness which now you have overcome. You can, for example, say that one of my weakness was to get up late in the morning, but now it is possible for me to present myself at my office at 7 a.m. If you ask me to come at 7 a.m., I will be there at 6:45 a.m. The third is to recall a lesson learned. It is not always that you have to ask, you have to respond to a question which has been asked in exact verbal message required by the verbal content of the question. So, the question is, what are your weaknesses? You can talk about a lesson you have learned from a weakness which you had. Number 4 is to reveal a lapsed skill. It is more or less similar to cite a corrected weakness. So, if you reveal a lapsed skill, honestly speaking, basically you are trying to say that I will work on this weakness, and you can use an unrelated skill as well. Cite an objective. You have a weakness and it is now your aim, your objective that you will work upon it and remove it from your system. Try to be humorous. This is one chance where you can try to be humorous. Generally, it is prescribed that in the interview you must be serious, because it is formal, it is a formal context and situation. But this is a question where you can try humor safely. And repeat your qualifications. You have your CV with you, your resume with you, and repeat your qualifications in answering this question. This is an age where you must be prepared for virtual interviews, and on this slide we show a small segment of a virtual interview. So, look into this at your leisure and be prepared to face these kind of interviews in the future and even today. So, at the interview now, next point. First of all, you must be aware of what the interviewer is trying to find out about you. For example, is he trying to test whether your qualifications are genuine and relevant to the job? Number 2, so are they having some doubts about your CV regarding it being genuine, relevant and as good as the suggestion goes, as the message is conveyed by your CV? Third, what have you omitted from your CV or the application which could be significantly used against you or for you in your favor? And also try to guess how intelligent you are, isn't it? Try to see it from the interviewer's point of view. He or she is trying to test your intellect. Now, how will you feel? And do you think your intelligence or your intellect is enough for the job? What about the other skills you possess? So, are you going to work with only your intelligence and this space in between your temples? What about your other qualities? What about your other skills and interests and activities? How do that impact your performance at the workplace positively? So, think about this during the phase of the interview. We continue. How good are your communication skills? Firstly and most importantly, how effective a listener are you? Do you listen? Examine this question. Next, are you honest in disclosing yourself with your colleagues, with your company, the money, the salary they are giving you, with property you have, property of the company, with the services you can provide and what you expect from the company. So, we have next, can you make an immediate contribution to the new job or would you need training? Most companies will have a HR department which will take care of the training needs of the newly recruited or the fresh employees, fresh recruits. But if you think that you have already worked enough, your work X is quite large and deep and that you would not need training, think about this. And last is, how good are your people skills as a team player, as somebody who can work in a project? Are you compatible? Are you adjustable? Next is, could you train other people? Do you have some train the trainer programs attended? Do you have some extra certifications so that you could train some other employees in that company? And would you fit into a team? So, let us think about the basics of an interview. The first is to have direct eye contact. If there are 3 or more sitting on the other side of the table, then keep on looking at all. Do not stare at one person and do not slouch. Do not sit negatively like this looking down. Sit erect and straight. Be smart, disciplined with your body language. And you have a right to ask why the vacancy exists, and you must answer only the questions that are asked. Do not ramble, do not digress too much. Therefore, the need to make your answers very compact, concise, accurate and helpful in the sense that from here will come secondary questions which the board can now ask you. And another important point is that if you do not understand the question, you can always seek a clarification. You can always say, sir or madam, please could you repeat the question, please could you make the question understandable. I have failed to understand what you ask of me, in a very gentle and very etiquetteful manners. And this has already been said, it has been repeatedly said that do not be going off here and there, do not be digressing, do not talk too much in response to a question which is directed. If the question is directed, give a direct, short, compact, but at the same time it should be a complete answer. And if you are asked hypothetical questions like, what would you do if this happens? Now, you are the assistant registrar of this university. Now, suppose the students are going on strike, what will you do? Now, this is called a hypothetical question. What you have to do now is to try to recall something similar, a similar situation, and then you can fit in an answer for that kind of question. And the next point here, don't be friendly, don't be overtly chummy with the interviewer, keep the emotion out of leaving stories. So, if you are asked question about why you have left your previous workplace, maybe it has been a sad, disgraceful, emotional experience, but when you narrate it, delete the emotions fully, be objective, be practical, be emotionally poor, I would say. Next is to be frank about your reasons for being on the market, but don't rush to volunteer this information too early. So, if they ask you, why are you applying for this position, why have you applied for this job, and why us, why not XYZ company, then you must be frank that you need a job. But before they have asked this question, don't say that I need this job, it has been my dream to work with you, a company like PricewaterhouseCoopers or something like that, isn't it? And the last advice here is to never knock your previous employer. In the interview, be careful that this is a highly networked world. The workplace is very much networked, all are connected with each other some way or the other, and they have their ways and means to get connected, if not connected or networked. So, don't speak bad about your ex or your previous employer. Move further and we come to body language. What is the language? How should you sport your body? The handshake should be vertical, not horizontal. Don't shake hands like this, don't offer your hand like this. Handshake should always be vertical. And do not give a bone crushing handshake. If somebody is giving you a hand, don't simply crush the bones of that person, the person in the interview board. An early smile is important. When you are entering from the door, you should have a slight smile with you. The fourth is a bit of synchronized nodding and smiling when the other says something interesting, rings the change. If the person on the interview board makes a short joke or cracks a joke, then you can be positive in your response. You can show your response that you enjoyed it. And this is the kind of body language you must have. If the interviewer is sitting this way tilted, then you also can try to be sitting this way and not the opposite. Don't start sitting like this, because that would be not mirroring the interviewer's position. Mirroring the interviewer's position or the interviewer's posture is prescribed or it is advised, because this will make you mentally or psychologically aligned with each other, and you will see that the body vibrations will be matching, and perhaps the interview will come to a good conclusion, at least for you as an interviewee. Next, we continue further, and the sixth point, it is better to keep arms and hands open body language. Put your hands like this on the table. In between your file is there, your file containing your original documents and the transcripts or whatever presentation you have brought to the interview board. So, keep your arms and hands open rather than crossed. Don't sit like this, or don't be, in fact, at any point of time this kind of negative body language. Do not be playing with your hair and do not be doing like this, rubbing your ear, or do not give any kind of non-verbal message which shows that you are either nervous or not interested or trying to leave soon. Try to focus on the interviewer's face as he or she asks the question. Number 8 is to lean slightly forward towards the interviewer, and this implies body language wise your interest and enthusiasm for the job. And sitting to one side rather than face to face is less confrontational. I think the way in which the seating arrangements will be made is, in case there are 3 people, not that one person, the middle person, is sitting directly in front of you, but the way they will be arranging the table which is slightly C-shaped in form, that you will not be sitting face to face with either one of the 3 or the 5, or even if it is one person on the other side of the desk. Be aware that the higher seat offers a more commanding position, so aim for an equal level. If you have problems with your revolving chair, try to adjust that so that you are on the same level with the other side of the desk, the interview board members. Now, how do you write other type of job search letters? First is a thank you letter, in which you express your gratefulness for having appeared of the organizer or the company. The next is the follow up letter. You can ask what is the status of the interview held on so and so date at such and such time at that venue. The third is the job acceptance letter. You get an offer in black and white formal mode, and you accept the job. Short message. Job refusal letter, in case you think of not joining. This is the time when you can decline the job offer. And job resignation letter. Now, you have to continue doing your job search, because this is not a one time activity that you join one company and continue in that company until the day you retire or you take your voluntary retirement, golden handshake. Lifelong you will continue to be searching for better jobs, and you will try to get better positions in future companies and future organizations as your workplace. So, maintain your resume. By this I mean that frequently be updating all the information in your CV or resume and deleting that which does not matter to this particular job. There is no one time CV which has been prepared and which can fit all situations and at all points of time, maybe when you are 30, 35, 40, 46, one CV cannot serve for all the different age groups, ages which I have mentioned. And the next is to be up to date with reading job ads and professional journals. It gives you lot of knowledge, lot of input, lot of experience, lot of advices are there in professional journals about how you should be choosing the correct company. There are so many good articles in professional journals about how you should be managing yourself at interviews, so on and so forth. So, in conclusion, I have a short quotation from The Wizard of Oz, from the movie by the same name, and it's to Dorothy: believe in yourself. So, interviewing skills are a set of repertoire, are a set of abilities and capabilities and faculties you have, but first of all you must believe in yourself to make it. I have these few references I have used for this lecture preparation, and thank you for being with me, and may God bless you always.